Hello, hello, and welcome to our March Pick a Stack reading. Also, I don't know why I say hello, hello like that every time. But apparently that is what we do here. So it is March 1st. It is the beginning of the best month of the year, in my humble opinion. It is my birthday month, so I'm like extra excited to do the reading for this month to kind of see what energies are in store for all of us. If you have never seen any of my previous Pick a Stack readings, I will give you a brief explanation of how they work. So basically we have 3 stacks of cards here. We have stack 1, stack 2, and stack 3. They are all comprised of cards out of the same decks. So you just have to kind of decide, okay, which deck is called, or which stack rather, is calling to me today. And we have a couple of different crystals that I wanted to bring out. They're big chunky boys today. We have celestite, we have lavender quartz, and we have green calcite. This is probably one of, I would say, my second favorite actually crystal of my entire collection. My absolute favorite being this beautiful amethyst point up here, but I have had this for a very, very long time, and it has just some special magic in it for me, so it had to be involved today. But all that you need to do is just ask your spirit team, check in with your gut, with your intuition, and say, you know, which of these stacks is for me, what messages do I need to hear today, and the first number that comes to mind, or, you know, the first crystal you're drawn to, if that kind of gets your goat a little bit more than a number, that is going to be the stack for you. And as always, I tell everyone, please take what resonates with you and leave behind what doesn't, because this is not a personal, you know, private one-on-one reading. Some of the guidance will be slightly more generalized than it would be if you were, you know, doing a private reading with me. And so sometimes it might not completely be super relevant to you in this moment. However, I think it's also important to kind of just make note of it, you know, kind of stick it in the back of your brain, and just kind of observe and see what might come, you know, over the next few weeks that all of a sudden, you know, that particular thing makes all the sense in the world. So before we get started, I do want to remind you that there are, in fact, ways to book private personal readings with me. All of the links and everything will be down below in the description box, but you can do single sessions with me. They are 60-minute sessions, either via phone or Zoom. And then I also have a membership where for $75 a month, you get 1 credit for 1 reading per month. We can schedule them, you know, to be the same day of every month if that is what you want to do, or it just gives you that opportunity to know that if you have something crazy pop up that you're like, oh my God, what the hell does this mean? I need to understand what's happening, or you just want to kind of have that standing date to check in with your spirit team. You can schedule them as needed throughout the month, of course, based on my availability, but all of those options will be down below. If that is something that you're interested in, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I do at least 3 of these readings every single month, and they are just a freaking blast and a half. And lastly, I do love to hear feedback about what stack you chose, how it resonated with you. So you can either comment below, or you can find me over on Instagram at Your Spiritual GPS and send me a message over there, and we can have a lovely little convo about it, which I just absolutely love. So with that, if you need to, go ahead and pause the video for a moment and kind of feel into what stack is for you. And I will obviously start with stack number 1 here. So I'm going to move these 2 off to the side. Make sure I don't get them mixed up. In fact, that's going to be moved over there so that I don't get them mixed up. Let's move this guy over here, and I'll just put this beautiful crystal right there. Okay, so we're going to start with our 3 tarot cards, and then we have a selection of different oracle cards here that decided they needed to be a part of the reading for today. Again, we're taking a look at the energies of the month of March and how we can utilize them, or kind of what might be coming at us, how to navigate them, things like that. I will also always list the decks that are used in the description box as well. And so you can, if any of them kind of catch your eye, you can get a copy yourself. The tarot deck we are using tonight is the Unfolding Path Tarot, which has quickly become my top deck at the moment in terms of tarot. So let us see what 3 cards we have to kind of get us going here. To get us started, we have the Page of Wands. Ooh, we have the Lover's card, and we have the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So the very first kind of energy that I get for those of you who chose stack number 1 is this Page of Wands energy is very inquisitive, very curious, and especially the Page of Wands in the context of this reading, I feel is very kind of free-spirited and creative when it comes to almost like problem solving through the month. So I get this feeling that you are going to potentially be presented with not like a problem, but either a decision you're going to have to make, or maybe some options of how you can move forward. March is obviously like we have the spring equinox, so we kind of have the changing of seasons coming up. And it's also going to be like the astrological new year, the Pisces being the final sign of the zodiac. So there's this kind of like transition time, and I get the feeling that you're gonna be, actually not that you're being asked to rather tap into some whimsy, some like let's fuck around and find out kind of energy, but backed very much by your faith and your intuition, and just like trust in kind of divine guidance. And yeah, it's kind of just like, what am I capable of creating here? What am I capable of doing? What am I capable? What is the possibility? And it feels very much outside of the realm, like out of the box, I guess. And it kind of makes sense then with the Lover's card, which is very much about choice, especially again in the context of this reading, about choosing what your heart wants versus what your head might say is like logical. And I get the feeling that up to this point, at least, either as a pattern of yours, I'm going to take a little drink of water. Give me one moment, please. As a pattern of yours, or maybe just kind of in the last 3 to 4 months, you have been very cerebral and logical with your decision making, or with your analysis of things, with your just kind of your approach actually to your life. And so you now have the choice to kind of lean away from that more cerebral, logical energy and into the more magical, whimsical, again, kind of like, if the sky is the limit, where can I go with this, or what can I do with this? And yeah, following your heart versus following your head. And it's not to say that you've been doing things wrong in terms of like utilizing, using your head, if you will, to make decisions, but like you have the opportunity now, as these you're coming out of a season rather of needing to use logic and needing to use your head over your heart. And now you're kind of being told it's safe. It is safe to kind of enter this next chapter of the year with allowing your heart to kind of lead the way for a little while. It's interesting that the word safe kind of comes up. And so for those of you that this makes sense for, I get the feeling that there are some of you who have felt very, very unsafe in following your heart, like you've been burned or there's been heartbreak, or maybe you've had issues trusting your heart. And so you've leaned on logic and like writing out pros and cons lists and like a very black and white analysis to, make the quote unquote right decision. And you're being told that it is absolutely safe for you to kind of throw the rule book to the side, if you will, and just like do literally whatever it is your heart is wanting. And if that is challenging for you, or you're just like, I don't know what my heart wants, I encourage you to spend some quiet time and just like literally asking yourself, what do I really, really want? If there was no risk of failing, if there was no risk at all, what is it that I really want? And like allow the very first thing that comes up to be expressed like out of you. So write it down essentially, and kind of just like see where it goes. With the Three of Pentacles, I get the idea of like harvest. So if you, and I think it also mirrors this kind of like decision point here, because you have this big, beautiful, like bountiful fruit on this side, and then you have, nice flowers, but not this like life-sustaining fruit. And this is really about, again, if you follow your heart versus your head. There's nothing inherently wrong, but you're going to be able to sustain yourself better energetically if you allow yourself to follow your heart. And so that's where this kind of harvest idea comes in. You've put all of the pieces together. You've followed all of the rules. You have, you've built the hive, you've planted the seeds, you've done all this prep work, and now it's time to harvest. And to harvest in this context really means allowing yourself to just go and do, as opposed to analyze and calculate the right move or the perfect timing or whatever. So yeah, I think that, again, there really isn't a right or wrong here. So I get with that repeated kind of message, like I get the feeling that you could be very similar to me in that you have to like make sure you're making the quote unquote right choice. But there is no right or wrong. There is just good and there is better. And it is safe to want the better. It is safe to want the bigger. It is safe to want the more. So, I like that. I like that a lot. I also just love like, again, the color, kind of coordination here. And this is the part that I geek out about with reading tarot and oracle cards, is how they all like flow together, especially when they come from like totally different decks. So it'll be really interesting to see what oracle cards come up in relation to this. So let us start with the Spirit Animal Oracle. Ooh, frog spirit, clear out the clutter. I love the little froggy baby. I don't know what that voice was. But I love this. So clear out the clutter. This again, like has that feeling of this like free flowing movement, which is following your heart versus the mental clutter that comes from analysis, calculation, again, writing the list, like all those things. all of that can allow you to feel like you're clear on the outcome, but right now it's going to start becoming messy and muddled. And so you have to, again, clear that shit out. So throw that shit in the garbage, basically. Or if it feels better, just file it away somewhere. So you don't feel like you've wasted all that work, if you will. But yeah, it is safe to just like take that leap. And for you that chose the stack, I get the feeling that simply giving yourself the permission to follow your heart over your head, it feels like a very big leap. But it is safe to do so. You will absolutely land exactly where you need to. And you have the strength and power to do that. You just have to clear the way. And so you have to clear out that mental clutter, so that you can truly listen to what your heart has to say and not be clouded, or distracted by, what your head is telling you to do. So the next card we will be pulling from, or we have pulled from, the Starseed Oracle. The Seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. This is 100% a confirmation that you need to do a journaling exercise. You need to do a visualization or meditation, and then journal about it afterwards, of just literally giving yourself the time to sit and think in a quiet, uninterrupted space. What do I really want right now? What do I really want to do? What do I really want to be? What do I really want to have? And just allow whatever comes through to come through. No matter how like wild it seems or whatever, like don't second guess, don't judge, just ask yourself, tune into yourself, ground into yourself, however, whatever practice works for you to do that, to get really in touch and in tune with yourself. And then ask yourself and trust your psyche to give you exactly what you need to hear. Trust the parts of you that are like, girl, I got you. Here is what you want. Here is what we want for you. And then write it all down. Don't try to put it in any specific order. Don't try to, again, like make any sense of it. Just write it all down and allow it to just like start to kind of take shape on the page. Yes. Okay. We have next the Work Your Light Oracle deck. Ooh. Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? This is kind of another little like hug. This feels very much like a hug for you. Again, a reminder that it is safe. You are safe to follow your heart as opposed to your head. So how can you, like, what would you say to a child or your best friend or whatever who came to you and said, this is what I really want, but I don't think that's possible or whatever. Like, what would you say to that person? Or again, that child, like you're probably not going to try to reason with or logic your way around what that child wants. At least not at first, right? So allow yourself that same courtesy to just hear yourself out, and to feel safe in just even expressing your deepest desires to yourself. Next, we have the Goddess Power Oracle deck. Oh, okay. The Truth card. Again, truth. What is your truth? Allow yourself to hear it. Give yourself the permission to tell yourself what you want. I know that might sound so freaking weird, but again, I get the feeling that you are really used to second guessing yourself or judging maybe yourself in ways that says like that there's no way that's possible, like that's silly. I need to whatever, think about something else. You need to do something else. That's just crazy. That's crazy. But it's not crazy. That vision, that dream, that desire, that is on your heart for a reason, because it is meant to be yours. And so you have to like, look, she's holding her heart, right? And there's this light here in the center of her chest. Like, I'm telling you, you need to do this exercise to sit down with yourself, tune into yourself, ask yourself the simple question of, what is it that I truly want? And then allow whatever to come through without qualification, without questioning, without anything. And last but not least, we have the Sacred Creators Oracle. Unstick the stuck. Get the fuck out your head. Get out of your head. Ground down into your heart and soul. Connect to the core of who you are, the core of your intuition, and allow that voice to finally be heard. And allow that voice to be heard without judgment, without reservation, without questioning. Just whatever comes through, comes through. All right. Done. Mic drop moment. Sometimes it's just like, zoop, zip, done. We're done. That's all we needed to say. So stack number 1, you've got some work to do in terms of giving yourself permission to just fucking flow with it, baby. Just do whatever works best for you. And allow yourself to hear what it is you actually want to do, no matter, again, how quote unquote crazy or outside of the box you would have thought it would be. It is on your heart for a reason. So that is your message, stack 1, for the month of March. Now we're going to move to stack number 2. Okay. Move this guy over here. All right, stack 2. We're going to start with your 3 tarot cards from the Unfolding Path Tarot. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the 6 of Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Wands. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is real. Wow. Okay. The overarching theme here is like endless possibility. Endless possibility, endless choices. So that can be incredibly overwhelming. That can feel incredibly overwhelming. Even if you like don't know what all of these possibilities or options might be right now, some of you, I get the feeling, kind of do have an idea, and some of you are just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're crazy. But trust me, if you don't already know what I'm referring to, I get the feeling very soon that you're going to understand exactly what this means and have all sorts of options kind of pop up for you. So it's so interesting because most of the time, when I always prefer to do a minimum of 3 cards, because I feel like when it comes to tarot, because I feel like it gives the most complete kind of picture at each stage of the reading. And most of the time, I would say like 99% of the time, each card kind of has its own story to tell. They usually are connected in some fashion, or relate to each other in some fashion. But I typically like read each one individually. With this one, with these 3 cards, it's literally like all 3 of them are just about, you are going to be presented with endless opportunity and possibilities. And it's, again, I get the feeling that it's going to potentially feel overwhelming for you. And so how can you, but the asterisk to that is that there's like, again, there's literally no wrong choice, no wrong option. They're all option, all possibility are like equal opportunity. So it's really just it's almost like you could just fucking close your eyes, spin around in a circle and point, and like that's the perfect choice. So the request of you, the suggestion for you from your spirit team is, when you are presented with all of these options, and I feel like for some of you, it might happen like literally all at once, like just thrown out on the table in front of you. And some of you, it might kind of like be piecemealed a little bit together. And so over like a short period of time, you'll kind of like gather up all these options. But either way, when you are faced with all of these options in front of you, and it's like, shit, okay, I need to make a decision. The suggestion to you, the guidance to you is to say, literally close your eyes and just point at one. Like, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. And that is like, if that's all that you take out of this message, like that is the mantra that your spirit team wants you to say, like repeat to yourself, I cannot choose wrong. I cannot choose wrong. I cannot choose wrong. And then just close your eyes and point. And that is the best choice for you. And I get the feeling that it's going to be, again, like a blessing regardless of what you choose. I also get the feeling that there could be opportunity to maybe make a couple of different choices. But primarily it's like one opportunity that you can take action on right now. And I get the feeling that those other opportunities, it doesn't mean that they're completely off the table for the future, which also in a way is part of that kind of like, you can choose no wrong, because those other options are still going to be there. They're not like time sensitive necessarily, or, have expiration dates, if you will. It's kind of just like, okay, what do I need to do? What's the option for me right now? And that's where you literally just close your eyes and fucking point. So yeah. Okay. That was fun that all three of those are like, yep, this is it. This is it. Okay. Let's see. We have take a leap of faith, my friends, with the grasshopper spirit. So that leap of faith is closing your eyes, spinning in a circle and pointing. That is your leap of faith, because you're not looking at any of the choices in front of you to then choose based on like, any characteristics of each option. You are relying solely on your body, in that analogy, your body to spin yourself around, and your freaking finger to go out and point at the one that you're supposed to choose. So that is your leap of faith, is to not overthink, is to not, again, similar to stack one, not overthink, not analyze, and to just close your eyes and trust that your finger is going to land on the choice that you need to make, or the option you need to take now. And that feels very unnatural and foreign for you, I feel. So we have the Starseed Oracle, fall into my arms. Excuse me, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. What, like the trust fall, right? So really surrender this choice to the divine choice, which is closing your eyes, spinning in a circle and pointing. Like you are not the one that has to make that choice in terms of, thinking it through or deciding that this over this. You get to just feel into it. And again, I feel like these other kind of phrases, like holding the opposites, extremes of life, that feels incredibly foreign for you. That feels very, potentially scary, like you don't have control over where your body goes and ends and lands. And And so that can be incredibly uncomfortable, but like that is what you need to do. Again, it's not about making the right choice. It's about, if you take that leap of faith, if you allow yourself to just close your eyes and point at the thing, then the experience of that as you go through it will be even more beautiful than it would have been if you had hemmed and hawed and had to, again, do a pros and cons and like eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. So we have the Work Your Light Oracle. Pillar of light, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. So you are the oracle. Your body, again, I'm going to go back to that same analogy. And maybe it is a literal thing you'll do. I don't know. But that same analogy of closing your eyes, spinning in a circle and pointing, like you are the oracle. Your intuition is going to be the thing that moves your hand in the direction that it needs to be. Is going to move your finger to point in the direction it needs to be pointed at. And you just have to trust and take that leap of faith, and surrender to where your body is going in that circle. Goddess, focus. Okay. Focus, focus, focus. And you know what that is? That is focusing on the single sense, which is the tip of your finger pointing at that thing. Like you don't have to rely on all of your senses to make the right decision. So that's why it's, again, in the analogy, it's closing your eyes. You're cutting off your sight. You are, not needing to use your nose to sniff out the answer or the option. Like laser focus on the end of your finger, like as the guiding arrow. Again, these are like the quickest messages because it's just simple. It's just, it gets to be simple. It needs to be simple. Even again, stack 1 and stack 2, I think you can tend to overcomplicate things by being too in your head and too cerebral about it. And so this is a 180 for you on how to kind of navigate a situation. One step ahead is all you need. And look at that little like arrow imagery, if you will. So yeah, focus, one step ahead, like one point. Sorry, but that's it. Like literally this entire reading, the number one visual that I have is you literally standing in the middle of a room with all of the options around you, and you're just in the middle of all the options. You're spinning around in a circle, eyeballs are closed, and you are just like knowing that as soon as you feel like you need to stop and throw out that finger, that is going to be the option that is going to be the best one moving forward. And I also feel like this is kind of speaking again to the fact that this is just like the first choice that you get to make. It doesn't mean that you lose out on everything else. This is just the right move, choice, option, opportunity for right now. So, damn stack 2. That was quick and dirty. And actually not dirty at all, because it was very specifically like, this is what you need to do. And yeah, so, all right. Nothing flowery about that. Nothing fuzzy about that. It's very, very specific. All right, we have stack number 3, last one with my lovely little calcite here. All right. We have the Magician. Okay, we have the 4 of Swords. Oh my, and the 10 of Swords. Good golly. Okay, stack 3, I always feel, almost always, maybe with the exception of one reading, I always feel like stack 3 kind of gets the what do I want to say? Because it's nothing's negative, but like gets the, maybe the hardest messages, the most like emotional messages maybe. So I know that this looks a little intimidating over here. Looks a little scary, a little dark. But it is not meant to. I do not subscribe to the idea that there are any scary or mean or negative cards in the deck. There are cards that may speak to potential challenges for you. But when I do readings and I'm channeling the messages from your spirit team, if they present you with what might be a challenge, they are immediately following that up with guidance on how to move through those challenges. So that's kind of the whole purpose, right? Like we want to know kind of what's coming at us so we can be better prepared in certain situations. So we have the Magician, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Ten of Swords. The Magician is all about creating something out of anything. I get the feeling that this is also a really beautiful like manifestation card. But again, in the context of this reading, I almost feel like this is manifesting something out of what has felt like nothing for you. I get the feeling that you may be coming out of a period of scarcity, of fear, of lack, and it maybe has felt like you didn't know if you could get out of it or come out of that. And so the first thing that I want to say is you absolutely are. And you have the opportunity, if you choose to take it, to potentially create something out of what has felt like nothing. And with the Four of Swords, this feels very much like you need to be very intentional with how you spend your energy in creating that something out of nothing. Because if you go like balls to the wall, you're going to burn out. So you have the resources, you have the strength, you have the power within you, but really being intentional with what one you're choosing and how kind of how you build this something out of nothing. You are 100% protected, guided, and supported the whole way. You have, magic kind of at your fingertips as well. So it's not about hustling. It's not about kind of piecing things together, cobbling things together. It's not about like scrounging around and trying to find the things that you need. It's just simply about, you have felt like you have not had nearly enough of anything to create anything greater than what you have. And you're being told that you have everything that you need, but let's be intentional and maybe a little bit strategic with what we use first, what we put together first. And then, allow us, meaning your spirit team, to kind of like fill in the gaps a little bit as you go. And with the Ten of Swords, this feels very much like again, like a hug, like a comforting, like a reassurance, from your spirit team that your struggles that you have felt, your pain, your fear, you have been seen in all of that. And so even when you have felt like everything has been thrown at you, and has tried to knock you down, you 100% are still up off of the ground, even if it's just by a few inches. And So your spirit team wants you to know, A, you are an incredibly strong, brave, powerful person. And you have been seen through all of that. And the help, the support, the aid, is right around the corner for you to kind of help pick you back up again. So really this is a message of like, please don't give up. I know that you have felt like you have wanted to, or maybe you have felt like, you know, why me? Or like, when is this going to end? And it's coming to an end very soon. And so, yeah, I get this image of like, you know, of God and your spirit team kind of coming behind you to very gently pull these swords out of your back, and start kind of patching you up. And you get to kind of rest for a minute. Which again, like, you know, manifestation isn't always about having to take action every day, and every moment. And sometimes it is simply like allowing yourself to rest and kind of recharge. So yeah, so that's kind of where like this kind of being intentional with what energy you do use, and from a place of like restoration versus a place of fear of running out of that energy. And I also get the feeling between these two cards in particular, that you have the opportunity to kind of take back some of your power with some of these swords, right? Like they're similar style, but not every single one is like that. And so some of it is just going to be pulled out and thrown away and you don't need it anymore. But some of these things that have felt painful, you can actually kind of reclaim as part of your journey, as tools to move forward on your journey. So yeah, that kind of felt like a little back and forth a little bit. So I hope that is clear to those of you who needed to hear this. And I would love to, again, know how this might resonate with you, if you feel comfortable sharing anything. So let's move to the Spirit Animal Oracle. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, again, like resting intentional with your energy. The first two stacks very much felt like kind of balls to the wall, a little bit more like higher energy. This feels like you need the restorative rest, not the I'm so fucking exhausted from hauling myself around, that I have no choice but to like fall down and sleep because I like can't move any further. This is about, and maybe actually that's kind of some of the power that you're taking back here is you get to now choose, you get to make the choice to rest. You get to make the choice to not have to be, you know, stood up on your 2 feet and powering forward. But it's your choice now. It's not because of the circumstances or the people that are maybe trying to push you down a bit. And by kind of flipping that script, if you will, that's where you are able to win the race. You're able to manifest and create something out of, again, what has seemingly felt like nothing. And actually, if we look at it from the standpoint of that rest component, you can create something out of what others may perceive as nothing, meaning you're resting, you're taking that time with yourself. You're not outwardly doing things, but that environment is what's going to create the opportunity for manifestation. So we have the Starseed Oracle. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Okay, I feel like, again, that's like this taking back your power in some ways, utilizing what has up to this point kind of knocked you down to say, what do I need out of this, and what's going to serve me moving forward, and what do I need to get the fuck rid of? And really just like, I get very much isolation, and not in a negative way, but like, you get to make the powerful choice to be with yourself for yourself, instead of again allowing others' energy to keep you kind of tied down. Oh my God. All right. No, wait, postpone, pause, say no, setting boundaries, resting, again, not allowing for other people's shit to be what holds you down anymore. You get to flip the narrative of this, and again, create something out of what has felt like nothing up to this point to you, and what other people may perceive going forward as you not doing anything. But it's this rest component. It's this rest. It's this intentional energy. Yeah. The interesting thing I just have to share, is as I was pulling cards for each stack, I think it was when I was pulling the Starseed Oracle cards, I was shuffling and I pulled 2 at once. And so I just placed them down, and I got the biggest hit that nope, they needed to be swapped. And I am so glad that I did follow that intuition, because this makes so much more sense in the vein of this reading than it would have in stack 2. And then with the Work Your Light deck, again, as I was shuffling, what I thought was 1 card flew out of the deck. Turns out it was 3 cards, and I just picked them up and just kind of placed them down, without kind of thinking about it, without really like knowing, again, like what order they flew out of the deck in or whatever. But this was like completely perfect. So, and it was just very like clear that these were the cards that needed to be pulled. Goddess Power Oracle. Divine Wisdom. Okay. So this is what you need to tap into to know what energy you need to bring with you and what energy you need to get the fuck rid of. And so whether this is, again, you kind of tapping into your own intuition, or whether it is seeking outside, support and guidance, that can be either pulling cards for yourself, or having a reading done, or speaking to somebody that can provide you some spiritual kind of channeling. But this, utilizing that divine wisdom, listening to that divine wisdom as to what you need to bring with you moving forward, how you can build something out of nothing, and what you need to literally just get the fuck rid of and throw to the side. And lead your metamorphosis. So you are the butterfly, my dear. Life, the world, other people have been trying to keep you the fuck down. And it's time to spread your wings. And you are the one that gets to decide what your wings look like. You get to decide how you transform, how you transition. And so, yeah, this definitely feels very much like you need to create a shell around yourself, honestly, because you have been, been infiltrated. That's a weird phrase to use here. But you have, you've been invaded. Your body has been invaded. And so you need to set some boundaries and say, you know what? I am my own leader. Again, lead your metamorphosis, be the leader you wish you had. And look at how beautiful those cards go together. So, yeah, Wow. Wowzers. Stack 3. That was beautiful and emotional. And I definitely sense a lot of pain. But it is, that pain is ending. And as, you know, cliche as it might sound, you are going to be stronger for it. And, you know, you just have to find a way to trust and believe, that it was happening for you, not to you, at the end of the day. And set some boundaries for yourself right now to protect yourself, put yourself in a little bit of a cocoon, really go inside and decide how you want to kind of flourish and move forward, as we transition into the spring season. All right. Well, that was fun. Oh my gosh. I love doing these readings so much. And I hope that you are enjoying them just as much as I am. Yeah, again, with that, I won't make this like some complicated outro here, but, all of the details for if you want to book any private personal readings with me, to kind of either expand on some of the things that we touched on here, or, you know, anything that you would like, links are down below. And subscribe to the channel, please. Like the video, share it with your friends and loved ones. And also, you know, make sure to follow me over on Instagram, where I share a lot of, you know, spiritual guidance and all sorts of fun things over there. So I thank you so much for being here, as always, for, you know, being a part of this little world here. And I look forward to being able to channel some more messages for you in the next reading.